We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello, my name is Hiren Patel. Today I am going to discuss with you about basic chapter of refrigeration engineering, that is refrigerant. So what is refrigerant? Refrigerant is an important part of any refrigeration system. Starting with the introduction of the refrigerant. The refrigerant is heat carrying medium which in cycle absorb the heat from low temperature in evaporator and reject the heat at higher temperature in condenser. In early days, when there is no invention of refrigeration system, then as a first refrigerant, the natural ice and mixture of salt are used as a refrigerant. After invention of the refrigeration system, different refrigerants are invented. From them, some of the refrigerants are rejected due to safety or lack of thermal stability. So in present, right now, we are using halocarbon, hydrocarbon and their compounds as the refrigerant. So these refrigerants are used as per their properties in different system. As per their suitably in different refrigeration system, they are used differently. So there is no one refrigerant which can be used for the all applications. So refrigerant should have some ideal desirable properties. So that desirable properties are low boiling temperature and freezing temperature, high critical pressure and temperature, high latent heat of vaporization, low specific heat and liquid, low specific heat of liquid and high specific heat of vapor, low specific volume of vapor. Also high thermal conductivity, non-corrosive to metal. It should be non-flammable, non-explosive and non-toxic. It should have low cost. It should be easily available. It should be modified at moderator pressure and temperature. Easy to locating leaks by odor or suitable indicator. It should mixes well with oil. It should have high coefficient of performance and importantly it should have ozone friendly. So as we know, low boiling and low freezing point is required, as we know that all refrigerants are available in gaseous form in atmosphere. So if the boiling temperature is low, then it can be able to absorb the heat easily. Also it should be highly thermal conductive so that it can absorb the heat properly. It should non-corrosive to metal. As we know, in refrigeration system all the components are used of copper material, but in some cases like compressor, it is not fully made of copper. So at that time refrigerant should not corrode that material. Now classification of refrigerant. Normally the refrigerant are classified in 2 groups, that is primary refrigerants and secondary refrigerants. So primary refrigerant directly take parts in the cooling, while in secondary refrigerants they are not directly take part in the cooling. First they are cooled by primary refrigerant and then they are used for the cooling purpose. So primary refrigerant can be classified in 4 groups, that is halocarbon or organic refrigerant, azeotropic refrigerant, inorganic refrigerant and hydrocarbon refrigerant. So we will see what are these different kind of refrigerants. So starting with the first halocarbon refrigerant. The American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers, that is ASHRAE, identified 42 halocarbon compounds as a refrigerants. These refrigerants are listed in the table. We can see that from R11 to R152A, these are the commonly used halocarbon refrigerant. These refrigerants we are right now using in the systems, different systems. So normally halocarbon compounds are synthetically produced and were developed as a freon family of refrigerant. Normally these refrigerant are derived from the methane or ethane base. So first refrigerant, that is R11. It should have low side pressure of 0.2 bar and at minus 15 degree Celsius and high side pressure of 1.26 bar at 30 degree Celsius temperature. Leak may be detected by soap solution, halide torch or by electric detector. It is sometimes used as a flushing agent for cleaning of internal part of compressor while overhauling of the system. This refrigerant is stored in the orange color cylinder. So the cylinder color code is orange for the R11. Next is R12. So R12 is colorless, odorless with having minus 29 degrees Celsius boiling point at atmospheric pressure. Leak may be detected by soap solution, halide torch or by electric detector. It is used in many industrial and commercial application and having cylinder color code as white. So R12 is stored in white color cylinder. Next one is R13. R13 has boiling temperature of minus 81.4 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure and critical temperature of 28.8 degree Celsius. R13 is used in low temperature side in cascade refrigeration system. So R13 is commonly used in cascade refrigeration system. It is suitable with reciprocating compressor. Means whenever in any system if there is a reciprocating compressor, R13 can be used and it is easily it is commonly used in cascade refrigeration system. Next one is R14. R14 has boiling temperature of minus 128 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure and critical temperature of minus 45.5 degree Celsius. Also it served as ultra low temperature refrigerant in cascade refrigeration system. So if there is a requirement of producing critical low temperature or very low temperature, then R14 is preferable. Next one is R21. R21 has boiling temperature of 8 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. It is suitable with centrifugal compressor with relatively high temperature refrigerant requirement. Means if we have requirement of higher temperature in refrigeration system, then R21 is suitable. Next is R22. R22 has boiling temperature of minus 41 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. R22 is suitable with reciprocating and centrifugal both compressors. Leak may be detected by soap solution, halide torch or by electric detector and it is stored in green colored cylinder. The cylinder code is green. Next is R30. R30 has boiling temperature of 39.8 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. It is clear water, white liquid with odor similar to chloroform. Means R30 is clear as water and it has odor similar like chloroform. So its leak may be detected by halide torch or electric detector. Next halocarbon refrigerant is R40. R40 has boiling temperature of minus 23.7 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. It is non-corrosive in pure state, but in presence of moisture it become corrosive. So when we use R40 in its natural state, it cannot corrode with the material, but if it mixes with the moisture, then it will become corrosive. Its leak may be detected by soap solution or electric detector. So next halocarbon is R134A, that is commonly and widely we are using in car. So it has boiling temperature of minus 26.15 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. It has no chlorine atoms, so it has zero ODP, that is ozone depletion potential, and GWP, that is global warming potential, and R134A has 74% less GWP compared to R12. So instead of R12, R134A is better for use. Its leak detected by sensitive detector. It is widely used in car air conditioner. So these are the halocarbons which are normally we are using in refrigeration system. Now what is azeotropic refrigerant? So term azeotrope refers to a suitable or stable mixture of refrigerant whose vapor and liquid phase retain identical composition over wide range of temperature. So in table, some of the azeotropic refrigerants are indicated, that is R500, R502, R503 and R504. As we can see that R500 is a mixture of R12 and R152. Same as R502 is a mixture of R22 and R115, but in the different proportion. R503 is a mixture of 40% of R23 and 60% of R13. R504, that is mixture of R32 and R115. Also, R500 has cylinder color code of yellow, 502 has orchid, 503 has aquamarine and 504 has tan. So these are the azeotropic refrigerant. So next one is inorganic refrigerant. So the inorganic refrigerants are used before introduction of halocarbon refrigerant. These refrigerants are still in use due to their inherent thermodynamic and physical properties. So in table we can see some of the inorganic refrigerants, that are ammonia, air, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and water. So this refrigerant intermittently we are using in some of the refrigeration system as they have some inherent properties. Next is hydrocarbon refrigerant. Most of the hydrocarbon refrigerants are used in industrial and commercial installation. They possess satisfactory thermodynamic properties but are highly inflammable and explosive. So they are just used for industrial and commercial purpose, not for the home purpose. So this type of hydrocarbons listed in the table, that we can see ethane, propane, butane, isobutane, trichloroethylene, dichloroethylene, ethylene, propylene. So these are the hydrocarbons which are used only and only for industrial and commercial installations. Now in refrigerant, next thing is CFC, HCFC and HFC. So what is CFC? The term CFC is known as chlorofluorocarbon. In that molecules that is fully halogenated and is a chlorinated fluorocarbon. What is HCFC? The term HCFC applies to the molecules containing hydrogen in addition to carbon, chlorine and fluorine, which is known as hydrochlorofluorocarbon. And HFC, what is HFC? This term applies to molecules containing hydrogen in addition to carbon and fluorine, but no chlorine. So it is known as hydrofluorocarbon. So now moving forward towards the nomenclature of refrigerant. So nomenclature of refrigerant can be done in various manners. One of the method is that who is the producer, that is the important, he will give the name. Also the industry which are producing the refrigerant, they can also give the name of their refrigerant. But one of the method that is we will going to see in this video. So the refrigerants of methane and ethane series are known by their number instead of their chemical names. Each refrigerant carries a specific number which is preceded by the word refrigerant or manufacturer's trade name. All 2-digit numbers are derived from methane base and 3-digit numbers from ethane base. So internationally designated is given by CM, H suffix N, Cl suffix P and F suffix Q. So this C stands for carbon, H stands for hydrogen, Cl stands for chlorine and F stands for fluorine. This one is the nomenclature phenomena for the chemical name. Next equation that should be important for the nomenclature is N plus P plus Q is equal to twice M plus 1. And the refrigerant is designated by R, then M minus 1, N plus 1 and Q in this series. So from example we are able to understand this method. So moving towards the example. So first example is dichloro-difluoromethane. So we have the equations Cm that is Cm Hn then Cl P F Q. So from dichloro-difluoromethane we are having Cl2 F2 and methane that is C1. So CCl2 F2. So we are having M is equal to 1, P is equal to 2 and Q is equal to 2. There is no hydrogen content, so N equal to 0. Now putting this value in the equation, N plus P plus Q is equal to twice M plus 2. Also we can find out the value of M. So number of carbon atoms will be 1, or we can easily detect from the equation, as we know C2H6 is for ethane and CH4 that is for methane. So now we are having R M minus 1 N plus 1 Q, that is the equation. So from this equation we are having designation as R M minus 1 that is 1 minus 1 that is 0, N plus 1 that is 0 plus 1 as 1 and Q that is 2. So we are having R12 as the designation. So dichloro-difluoromethane is also known as R12. Same as dichloro-tetrafluoroethane can be evaluated, and that is R 114. Okay, so here also dichlorotetrafluoroethane, P is equal to 2, Q is equal to 4, N equal to 0 and M is equal to 2. As chemical formula become C2H0 Cl4 F2. Sorry, F4 Cl2. So from here P equal to 2, Q is equal to 4 and M is equal to 2. So we are having Rm minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, that is 1, N plus 1, that is 0 plus 1 equal to 1, and Q, that is 4. So we are having designation R114. So next is dichlorotrifluoroethane. So same as Cl2 F3 H1 and C2. So from that we can have Rm minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, that is 1, N plus 1, that is 1 plus 1, that is 2, and Q, that is 3. So R123, that is dichlorotrifluoroethane. So in reverse manner, if we want to find out the chemical composition of refrigerant, so for example we are taking R113. So as the designation shows, R M minus 1 N plus 1 Q. So M minus 1 is equal to 1, N plus 1 is equal to 1, and Q is equal to 3. So M is equal to 0, sorry, M is equal to 2, N is equal to 0, Q is equal to 3. So we are having M, N and Q. But what about the P? So we are having equation N plus P plus Q is equal to twice M plus 1. So if we put the value 0 plus P plus 3 is equal to 2, 2 plus 1. So P is equal to 6 minus 3. So P is equal to 3. So we are having the values P is equal to 3, Q is equal to 3, N is equal to 0, M is equal to 2. So an equation Cm Hn Clp Fq, if we put the value, then C2 H0 Cl3 and F3. So we are having C2 Cl3 F3, that is trichloroethane. So this way, in reverse order, we can also find out the chemical name of the refrigerant. Now the inorganic refrigerant. The inorganic refrigerant are designated by the number 7 and followed by the molecular weight of that particular refrigerant. So for example, ammonia. So ammonia having molecular weight of 17. So the designation is R717. Carbon dioxide has molecular weight 44. so it is designated as R744. Same as water, that is R718, air as R729, and sulfur dioxide as R764. Sorry. So uh, as we can see, the inorganic refrigerant are designated with the 7 series. Same as azeotropic mixture start with 500 series, that is R500 and R502, and same as zeotropic mixture start with the 400 series. So 404 and 407E. Now secondary refrigerant. So what is secondary refrigerant? As in starting we have seen that secondary refrigerant doesn't take part directly in the cooling system. It first cooled with the primary refrigerant and then it cools the required area. So secondary refrigerant are also known as brines. So these are the refrigerant which are used to maintain the temperature below freezing point of water. Normally brine solution is mixture of salt and water. So when salt mix with the water, the freezing temperature become lower than the freezing point of water. The amount of salt mixes in water is identified by concentration. So the concentration ratio is the important for the brines. So beyond some point, the freezing point increases instead of decreasing, and that point is called eutectic point. Corresponding temperature is eutectic temperature. So at eutectic point and eutectic temperature, up to that the freezing point is increasing, but after that it going to be decreasing. So the important is the concentration of salt inside the water. Normally or commonly used brines are water with calcium chloride, sodium chloride, or we can say common salt, and glycol. In glycol, ethylene glycol and propylene glycols are used. The calcium chloride brine has eutectic temperature of minus 55 degrees Celsius and salt concentration of 30% by mass. So this brine generally used where temperature below minus 80 degrees Celsius is required. The sodium chloride brine has eutectic temperature of minus 21 degrees Celsius at the salt concentration of 23% by mass, and this brine generally used for chilling and freezing of meat and fish. Normally this secondary refrigerant, or we can say brine, is used in ships when fishermen are required to store the meat and fish. So these are the some of the applications of secondary refrigerant, that is in breweries, chemical plants, dairies, food process, ice cream plants, ice plants, meat packing, skating ring, and special low temperature. So these are the brines which are used into the systems. Also other water soluble compounds known as antifreeze are used for some of the application for lowering the temperature. So as we have seen the ideal properties of refrigerant, properties for ideal refrigerant, there are some ideal properties also for the refrigerant, that is high latent heat of vaporization, high density of suction gas, non-corrosiveness, non-toxicness, and non-flammable, critical temperature and triple point outside working range, compatibility with component material and lubricating oil, reasonable working pressures, high dielectric strength, low cost, easy leak detection, and environmentally friendly. So these are the ideal properties of refrigerant, means every refrigerant should possess this type of properties. Now, as we know, the refrigerant should have some of the ideal properties, but every refrigerant should have some properties, that is thermal properties, chemical properties, and physical properties. So these three type of properties every refrigerant should have. So starting with the thermodynamic properties of refrigerant. So boiling temperature, first one is the boiling temperature should be low. Then freezing temperature, it also should be low. Evaporator and condenser pressure, both the condenser and evaporator pressure should be positive and near to the atmospheric pressure if possible. Then critical temperature and pressure, the critical temperature should be above highest condensing temperature and pressure should be near to the atmospheric pressure. Coefficient of performance and power requirement, so for ideal refrigerant, coefficient of performance should be 5.74 for operating between minus 50 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius temperature range. Latent heat of vaporization, so it should be high at evaporator temperature and specific volume should be low at evaporator temperature. Now chemical and physical properties of refrigerant. So in chemical properties, flammability, toxicity, solubility, and miscibility should be there. Flammability, it should be non-flammable. Toxicity, refrigerant should be non-toxic. Solubility, it should be non-soluble in water. And miscibility, so it should be easily mixed with the oil while using in the compressor, as we are having hermetically sealed compressor in which refrigerant need to be passed from the refrigerant. At that time it is going to be mixed with the oil, so it should be easily mixed with oil. Then physical properties, so in physical property, stability and inertness, corrosiveness, viscosity, thermal conductivity, dielectric strength, leakage tendency, and cost availability. So stability, it means that it should not decompose at any temperature, it should be non-corrosive. The viscosity of the refrigerant should be low both in liquid and vapor state. The thermal conductivity should be high. The dielectric strength should have high strength. The leakage should be easily detected, and cost, that should be lowest cost and easily available. Now important is refrigerant phase out. So it should be noted that in early 1987, so total CFC emissions were made up from aerosol sprays, solvents and foam insulation, and that refrigerant emissions were about 10% of the total. However, all the different users have replaced CFC with alternative, as CFC causes the ozone layer depletion. R22 is an HCFC and now regarded as a transitional refrigerant, in that it will be completely phased out of production by 2030 as under the Montreal Protocol. A separate European Community decision have said the following, that is in 2000 CFC banned for servicing in existing plants. So anyone who are using CFC, that should be changed by 2000. HCFCs, that also banned in 2000 for the new system with shaft input power greater than 150 kilowatt. So any system that is having input power greater than 150 kilowatt cannot use HCFC, but lower can use. In 2001, then HCFC again banned for all the system, means the system which are having 150 kilowatt as a input power, that also cannot be used the HCFC. And in 2004 it is completely banned for the all the system. In 2008 virgin HCFCs are banned for plant servicing. So what is Montreal and Kyoto protocols? The ozone layer is thin layer of ozone that is found outside the atmosphere about 10 to 50 kilometers above the earth. The ozone layer protects the earth by absorbing most of the UV rays which are coming from the suns. So scientists discovered that CFC did not mix with water and enter the atmosphere reacting with the ozone layer. So it will degrade the ozone layer. The chlorine atoms in CFCs reacted with the ozone molecules, breaking the bond and destroying the ozone layer. This non-stop process has caused the very loss of ozone layer in stratosphere over the years. So the world community come together for this issue in Vienna Convention for the protection of ozone layer in 1985. So later it is followed by Montreal Protocol in 1987. So in Montreal Protocol, the ozone depleting substance include over 90 chemicals such as CFC, HCFC, halogens, methyl bromide, etc. are banned. As of the 1st January 2010, the production and consumption of key ODSs like CFC, CTC, that is carbon tetrachloride, halogens and methyl chloroform have been completely phased out globally. So no one can produce or use this type of refrigerants. So as we can see from this graph, the graph is of phase out schedule for the developing company for HCFC. So in 2013 we are using the HCFCs, but in 15 it is reduced by 10%, and after in 2020 it will going to reduce 35%. In 2025 it is going to be 67.57%, and in 2030 it will going to 97.5%, and in 2040 it will going to reduce 100%. So in 2040 HCFC will going to completely phase out globally. So after 2040 we are not having any HCFCs as a refrigerant. So India also become a party to Montreal Protocol on 19 June 1992 with effort from different stakeholder industries and policy developed by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. India has successfully phased out the production and consumption of CFC, CTC, halogens and methyl chloroform on 1st January 2010. Considering the importance and challenges in the implementation of the accelerated phase out HCFCs, India initiated activities as early as 2009 by developing a map for phase out of HCFCs. So the HCFC phase out management plan stage 1 developed to implement the phase out process for the period for years of 2012 to 2016 to achieve 10% phase out of targets of HCFCs, and by 2015 as per Montreal Protocol, as we have seen in this graph. So up to 2040 HCFC will completely phase out globally. So this is what about the refrigerant. Thank you.